Back here with another special edition of the Down and Back with CornDoug, presented by Octane Cornhole. Remember, you can go to Octane Cornhole, use octanecornhole.com, use discount code CornDoug, get yourself 10% off of that. And once you're done getting your bags, as always, head over to myearfund.com, get yourself a good set of earbuds or a Bluetooth speaker, using that discount code CornDoug there as well, too, to get 20% off. And then when you're done, you need something to throw on, so then you can head over to JC Cornhole. And again, Jamie, you mentioned me. He may actually charge you more. We're not sure. But anyway, we have the man himself. Been a while since you've been on the show. Trey, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Doug. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. But like I said, you're all set up now. You're getting big time on me. I've got to catch up to you. I've always said you are the one that plays that trail, and I've just, it's getting to you, to your spot. But yeah, so I was kind of thinking as well here before we were going to do the show, is that we're now a year, like what a change this year has made in Cornhole, from being that small little community, we can still say, to all of a sudden we're going worldwide now. Yeah, it's crazy. A year ago we were just dealing with the repercussions of our Cornhole Mania and the Cleveland collapse, I guess is what we're calling it now. But yeah, it's just crazy. When I think back on that time, I just think of it being such a depressing time for me, and thinking that not really being sure of what our future was. So for me, the year that we had to be able to come back and rebound and be able to continue to grow at the rate that we are, and expanding into different markets and different countries. And it's just, it's been a whirlwind of a year. So one that we won't forget. And I just hope the next year and 2 years can even sniff the surface of the growth that we saw this year.
Well, we've grown so much that you've now seen that, and really Todd, a lot of accolades have to go to Todd with all of his international work that he's done with those international the international virtual blind draws and all that stuff. But we now have Cornhole Europa. They've got over 100 players for a virtual tournament for just in Europe alone.
Yeah, I think kind of hit it on the head. Todd did an amazing job. The 2 different international invitationals kind of set the groundwork, right, for this idea, because a lot of countries are, not getting into politics here, but they just handle COVID differently. And so for them not being able to travel at all, I think what Todd did with the international invitationals was revolutionary, to be able to get these people playing and pairing them up with some ACL pros. I think was exciting to see, especially on that doubles event. And it was a lot of fun to watch. Even though it was just them throwing in their backyards by themselves, it was really cool to see them and see people from other countries all over the world just playing cornhole for the first time. So I think the sky is the limit when it comes to international growth, and I think we're trying really hard. Now we're even working on the manufacturing side to try to get cornhole bags and boards, trying to find logistical ways, and that's become a logistical hurdle for us, is trying to get equipment to all these different people across the world, because you can't be shipping individual boards like that and individual sets of bags. It gets expensive real quick. So trying to get creative with how to grow that market, and and have cornhole take over the world.
Well, yeah, and that's my one thing. I love being able to see just that growth. So we go into the growth. We've started off getting some live cornhole back this year. We've got the new setup with the Opens and the National, and the Opens have really seemed to take off. I've seen a lot of comments from people that, we're going to the Opens. It's just going to be for the pros. It's just going to be for the pros. And I really, for myself, I don't see that, because you look at some of the brackets and there's some pros that aren't in that top level bracket, that they're down second, third level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's there's a couple different things. So I think when we came out with the open format, the driving force behind that was to lay the groundwork for growth. So throwing 4 nationals a year when we set up for our Cleveland event to have 1,000 people, right? And so that means even if we could find a massive venue like Cleveland 4 times, that only gives us a total of 4,000 people that can really play at the highest level when it comes to a national. And there's hundreds of thousands of people across the country that are playing cornhole right now. And so for us, it was, we couldn't guarantee more TV coverage because we're only guaranteed so much. And so for us, it became well, let's break off nationals, make them pro only, and create this open series. And we can have 500 plus people at these opens, but have 8 of them, have 10 of them, have 15 of them if we wanted to. And that way we prepare ourselves to be ready for more and more growth each and every year. And so then it was about finding, the second thing that we wanted to fix was the idea of sandbagging. And sandbagging is an issue everywhere across the country. And so, because it's tough to properly label people with the right skill levels. And anytime there's subjectivity involved, you're sometimes going to get it wrong. And so with the opens, going with this rounders format where you play in a rounders, which is this progressive round robin, it gives you an opportunity to play your way into a certain bracket. And I know we got a lot of flack at the beginning about how the payout structure was labeled with the top 2 tiers really the only ones getting the cash payouts and the bottom 2 tiers not. But for us, we've created now a format that it does no benefit to you to sandbag in either your player profile or in the qualifying rounds. It does you no good because, one, if you end up in a lower division, you're not going to get paid more than the top division, and you're not going to earn more points than the top division. So it really pushes people to do as well as you can. And like you said, it leaves the door open, and it continues to allow pros to compete against non-pros, and these non-pros to gauge where they are. And with each open limited to 64 pros, you're never going to go to an event that just feels like it's all pros there. There is a specific initiative and effort in order to get people outside of the pro division competing at these opens. And for the most part, obviously working through some kinks. It's the first year that we've had this open schedule and learned a lot. For us, I think it's been a really successful year so far, and one that a strategy that we want to continue to use for years to come.
Well, and we were talking kind of off air before, is that people say, oh, it's just these opens the pros are going to take it, but you look at open number 1, unknown pro Steve Bernasek takes down Jay Rubin in a final when Rubin was like on fire to begin with. Open number 2, there's that new rookie pro that's in there, Mr. Guy that took that one. And then you get the third open, Alex Rawls, who I remember seeing him as a kid at Cherokee back in 2018. He takes down Jamie Graham in a final, right? Yeah. So, it's not your big names that are, except for the middle one, are not the ones winning these open tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a testament to who's hot, who's feeling it that particular time. And I think that's what's great about these formats is you got to be good every single game. And it leaves the door open, and it's giving us the opportunity to see a lot of prospects, right? There's someone like an Alex Rawls, it's tough to even call him a prospect because he has been around a while, especially if you talk to the people in the Southeast Conference, but we're able to start identifying who those prospects are and really getting them to shape up. And, again, I've said this year in and year out. Back when we started the pro division, everybody complained about the talent level. Oh, it was only the people that, decided to sign the contract, yada, yada, yada. I heard all the chirping, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But slowly but surely, I told people, look, this pro division is going to sort itself out. It's going to every year get better and better and better. And that's exactly what we're seeing. This year, talent pool is amazingly better than last year, which was amazingly better than the year before. And next year's talent pool is going to be better than this year's talent pool. just because of the format that we've set up now, more and more the best top-level talent is going to make their way into the division, creating, the most difficult player pool of pros that the world has ever seen in cornhole.
Well, there is that little saying that anyone can play, anyone can win type of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's those opens have shown that, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's why we brought them together, and they're doing their job. Yeah.
So we fast forward from the opens to the first national, the kickoff battle down there, and the one story I followed closely more because of Octane was I don't know if you can say coming out party of Hasib Habibon and Mike Ferreira in the doubles division. Because I talked to Mike before, and he had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder going in that him and Hasib were winning everything in Florida and nobody was talking about them. And I think they kind of made that statement.
Yeah, for me right now, Mike Ferreira's got to be in the conversation for that breakout player of the year. And I don't like to give that breakout player of the year to a rookie pro. So when I talk about a breakout player of the year, I'm really talking about someone that's been in a pro before. And a lot of people that are new to the ACL may not realize that Mike is a veteran in the pro division. He's not someone he's been there for 3 years now. This is his third year as an ACL pro. And so for him, not many pros kind of are able to elevate their game like that, right? They once you kind of hit that peak, you kind of stay there. But not Mike. He really broke out this year. I've been really impressed by what I've seen from Hasib. Now, Hasib has always been around, right? He's always been there in some way, shape, or form, just not in the pro division. So I think the team chemistry is certainly there between those two. And, they certainly wowed me when I saw them, down, 18-2 against Bob Vonch and Danny Seals. I got to call that game and see it right in front of my eyes. Like, wow, this is legit. And what really shocked me was not just coming back and beating them, but then I looked down, I'm calling games, but trying to keep track of the bracket all at the same time on my phone. And boom, I turn around and they take down Noah Wooten and Matt Sorrells in the winner's bracket final. Now, they did come back and get double dipped, but at the same time, I'm high on Wooten and Sorrells. I argue they could be the best team in the world right now. And for them to come and take that down, and they did so convincingly, that spoke volumes to me. And they will not be able to ride under the radar anymore this season.
No, not at all. And my other thing actually my other storyline started Friday morning, going back to Hasib again. The giant killer Friday morning in the seniors division was just, Bob Vonch, Philip Hayden, Damon Dennis, and then Damon in the final again. And no one does that to Damon in a seniors tournament at all.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody beats Damon Dennis in senior singles. That was a hell of an accomplishment by Hasib there, and to get the win, I think is, he was one of only 2 people on the entire weekend to beat Damon Dennis in singles. So I mean, that's gotta be worth something when you're talking about accolades.
Yeah. So then we go back to the doubles again. How about Baldwin and Kamba assert themselves back on top? They kind of, they really hadn't had a big win, I guess in my eyes, since Spencer McKenzie's back in 19, I think it was. So for me, it was just seeing them kind of emerge again.
Well, we did get to see them in the round limited format at the Pro Invitational. They did get that win there, and I thought that was significant because James Baldwin was so good there. But that played into the stigma that I've always had with James Baldwin. You don't pick James Baldwin early in the season. He's not going to show up. And so, he's always been – he won the 2019 final chase in singles late in the year, last of the year. He's won he's won a world championship in singles late in the year. They won the Pro Invitational late in the year. He just doesn't win. Then back in 2018, he won the final chase with Alan Rockwell late in the year. Again, he shows up at the end of seasons, a lot of times in doubles, but also in singles. That is when he shines. And so for me, they weren't even on my radar for doubles because I was counting them out. Oh, they'll be there come July, but it's February, and they proved me wrong. I mean, they were lights out. and they really didn't have to do anything flashy. Now, granted, I think there was a tad bit of favorable draws when it came to, they played some players that just had bad games at certain times. I wasn't wowed by what I saw from Jamie Graham and Matt Guy in that semifinals match. And rightfully so, Baldwin and Kemba just simply took advantage, and that's why they won. For me, what I'm excited to see is now this next event, if we get a Baldwin and Kemba on the big stage again and they play against a team that is also hot, do we start to get a little bit more flashiness? Do we get a little bit more of a battle, and how do they respond there? But the good news is for them is they're veterans, and they played on the big stage. They've won the biggest of games, so they're not going to ever get nervous. It's just about whether or not they can deliver on the big stage time and time again.
Yeah, and then that kind of all set up everything for singles, and I was like, you go down to almost the final 8 or the final few matches in singles, and it was like every one of those matches could have been a championship game. Whether it be like Tyler Poitras and Matt Guy, like the battle they had, right? Well, you got to see that firsthand. That was incredible. I got to watch on someone else's feed. I got to watch Tyler and Damon, and I think what happened there on that match was that I think Damon just outlasted Tyler after Tyler having that marathon with Matt Guy.
Yeah,
you get that almost reverse game that Damon Dennis plays, right? Just that slow, methodical. I think that's what wore Tyler down. But then you go to Cody Henderson. The Greg Geary match was incredible. Then, Cameron Belvin out of nowhere in singles, what she did with David, like it was just game after game after game was just fun to watch.
We were spoiled. We really were. I thought it was monumental to have Cameron Belvin finish in the top 5. It's tough to root against Damon Dennis, right? And I was happy to see either one of them to advance, but I think that was a monumental point in our sport to have Cameron Belvin finish in the top 5, and now she's a top 5 player in the world, and I can't wait to see how she responds here in her second event. Very rhythmic player, and going to need to ride momentum like she did at the first event. But Damon Dennis, he just like you said, he's slow, methodical, and he's just going to wear you down. I think what he was able to do at the first national of the year was, obviously a huge win for him. But I think something that a lot of people forgot or maybe just didn't realize is that at 2 events, Damon Dennis was 1 game away from making a Final 4 in singles. Okay. And both of those events, okay, he went 0-4 against Jamie Graham, who double dipped him twice, or knocked him down in the loser's bracket and then beat him again in the loser's bracket. And so, I don't think people understand that, Damon Dennis was really close to breaking out last year. He just ran into the best player in the world and the hottest player in the world, and Jamie Graham, who just decided to end his run a little bit earlier. So I think Dennis has been close now for about a year, and it was just cool to see him get that signature win.
Now, my other thing, and I talked with another pro about this, was how much do you think in his mindset did not getting that seniors title push him that much more in that other singles event? Like to really go for it.
Yeah. So, I would actually kind of fight back and say probably not much. And the reason for that is I think because of how experienced Damon is, he is going to be able to push everything out and reset, right? When you don't have a flop shot, you don't have a hard push, you don't have all these fancy shots, what you rely on is the ability every single throw to focus, reset, and block it out. He's not an emotional player like a Cody Henderson who's going to continue to ride momentum. And that's why you see people like a Cody Henderson go on big streaks and then give up big points and then big streaks because he's riding like an Eric Anderson, another emotional player. Damon Dennis is not like that. He's stop, focus, throw, reset. Stop, focus, throw, reset. And he's just doing that every single time. And so for him, I think on purpose, he doesn't like to draw extra motivation from some of his wins or his losses.
You know, it was just for me. It was great to see someone like that just get that finally get that big win, and you seen just how emotional he was then afterwards as well.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's Damon for you. He's someone that's been passionate about it for a long time, and it was a long time coming for him to get that singles win.
So with that, now we've got you're right back in. I think you're probably heading to Wichita here soon. But what can you see a storyline coming out of this weekend or that possibly happened?
Yeah, I'm looking for. There were plenty of players that left Florida with a little bit of a bitter taste in their mouth. So I'm looking specifically for people to come into Wichita and really get some people that did not finish well to finish well in Wichita. So, I think the obvious ones you point to are like a Jamie Graham and a Matt Guy. One element that I really didn't take into a lot of consideration that I probably should have is, last time they were out kind of traveling with Doug Flutie, they were doing some extra outside stuff with Superhole. You wonder if that was a little bit of a distraction. They're both coming in now very focused. And from what I've seen on Twitter from Matt Guy, he's not playing around. So, I think those two will certainly be people you want to highlight. But also, someone that's not going to be disappointed with how they finished in Florida by any means, but Noah Wooten. The only bitter taste that he has in his mouth is that he was up 17-11 and lost to Cody Henderson. I know he wants that game back bad. So he's got that a little bit of a fire in him, but I've gone through a bunch of different people. Someone like a Jay Dotson who went, I think, 0-2 in singles. Someone like a Lester Price who finished, I think, 188th or something like that. Jay Rubin was down there. Eric Anderson was okay. There's a variety of different names. Eric Davis, I think, has real potential now, especially now since he's got a carpet bag in his hand, which is something I don't think a lot of people paid attention to, is that he wasn't able to throw a carpet bag in Florida. But now for this event, the question is going to be, can he break it in time? Because those brand new fire assault bags are out. It's just about, has he had it enough time? Has he thrown that thing in the dirt enough to get enough grit and broken inness to that bag to use it? So, but then also someone like a Malone and McClem, Kyle Malone and Dalton McClem, not necessarily that they were mad how they performed, because they didn't perform together. They didn't play together in Florida. So for them, I think they have a chip on their shoulder of just something to prove, considering that they didn't play in that first event. So even someone like a Matt Morton, I think, has an opportunity who's had a slow 6 months, just kind of a meh 6 months. And I know I'm leaving off a ton of people, but I think the storyline, my gut feel is, someone comes into Wichita pissed off and takes it down.
Yeah, and I think I'm looking forward to being able to see that stuff, and just I finally got a weekend off from work, so I'm able to just sit in front of the computer, listen to you, watch you going, and I'm ready to have some fun watching cornhole. So speaking of fun, I know you got to have some fun on the boards the other weekend there, and you were saying how you didn't play good, and I kind of put up a challenge. I put up a challenge that maybe next time, if we can be in the same spot, and not to call you out, but you didn't answer me.
What did you tweet at me?
Yeah, I responded to you because you said how you sucked and you were going back in the booth, and I was like, I suck too. When next time I can cross the border, I think we need to have something on some court and kind of do the battle of the shows or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. I'll embarrass myself for you, Doug. I will do it just for you.
Hey, I'm the one that threw the 29 in that ACL International Virtual Tournament, so I'm not sure you can really embarrass me. But another thing is I had another viewer question come in for you, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I can ask this question myself. And I know I said I would never ambush you, but I think for this one here, we may have to, and we'll bring in Mr. He was just here.
Oh, geez.
Timothy
Oh,
Pitcher,
no.
He's got a burning question for you.
Oh, gosh.
What's up, Trey?
What's up, Timmy? That beer's looking fresh, baby. That beer's looking fresh.
It might need some coloring before Wichita, bro. I got a feeling I'm going to be getting interviewed.
You got a feeling you're going to be getting interviewed? When?
Yeah, I got a feeling. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say, but I'm feeling pretty good about my game right now.
Hey, I saw you play a little bit in at the Open in Florida. You were on a good run there. You were taking down some names. I was paying attention.
Yeah, I was doing my thing. You know, I felt back to my normal self.
Yeah, I'm honestly though, I think I'm a little bit more interested to see how your boy Leston throws.
Oh man,
because he's had some time off, Timmy. He's had some time off.
Yeah, but he's been over here at my house. I'm at in my practice facility right now. I got some youngins over here that I'm schooling.
I love it.
Bringing them up into the game, and yeah, he's been over, dude. I'm telling you, you're gonna be surprised, bro.
Oh, hey, I'm not gonna be that surprised because I know how good he is. I'm just interested to see if there's any rust at all. And then when you get going, now are you guys throwing slide rights? You throwing all slides?
All slides. Slide rights.
That's Leston's go-to way back in the day.
Yeah, but man, I think we're over that. Unless the boards are playing too fast. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to bring them because he was talking about making the switch and going back to that for singles. But I don't know. He's got his new bags and he's throwing them well, bro. He's throwing them well.
Yeah, that's the thing is the boards are fast this year, so I'm waiting for everybody to make the transition back to the slower bags because of how fast the boards are.
I definitely see people scooping up the smooths. I mean the steadies and the slide rights. I saw Jay Rubin post that any bag for any condition. I was like,
yeah.
It took me a little while to even get off the slide rights and get into the faster bag game. Now everybody wants to go back, and I'm mad about it.
Everybody's throwing it back. I love it.
Man, my elbow hurts saying the word slide right. So my question was,
all right.
You guys do the three-person matchup on Facebook. The top or bottom thing you do.
Yep.
Like how come the beard hasn't been in one yet?
You have been in one. I put you on. You had the gas. Oh, you had the gas mask on. That's the thing. You didn't have the beard on there. Yeah, you were like one of the first ones I did. You were like the second one, like 3-4 months ago.
Man, you might have to tag me in that. Now I'm mad.
Yeah.
I got another question.
Yep.
When are we going to start singles in the afternoon?
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I play better as the night gets longer.
Yeah, I know. The problem is there's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, I know. Tell ESPN to do it like a late night broadcast.
Do like a midnight broadcast.
Yeah, Midnight Madness for the next big one.
All right, Midnight Madness.
If y'all do that, I'm winning. Just to let you know.
Deal. I'll if I set it up, you better come through then.
Oh, I'm coming. How you been, man?
Good, very good. Excited, staying busy, and fired up for Wichita. Ready to get this season going. The summer is. I just laid out the entire ACL schedule in a spreadsheet, and it looks outrageous. I'll be gone 6 straight weekends in June and into July, so it'll be nonstop cornhole all year. I love it.
Nice. Finally getting back to some normalcy, I guess.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Who you picking?
Who am I picking? Ah, gosh, I did my preview article earlier this week, and it's impossible to pick these things, but I've been a couple of people I'm really high on right now. I'm really high on Jimmy McGuffin, singles and doubles. He's just been really, really good recently. So I like Jimmy. I like Wooten and Sorrells a lot. I think they're both throwing really, really well. It's kind of cop-out to say Graham and Guy, but I think they'll have some extra motivation coming into this event. I I really, really like Cheyenne Renner
Yeah.
as a top female that I think if Cameron Belvin doesn't do Cameron Belvin again, then I think the female to kind of take that role for this event will be Cheyenne. But they both could. They're that good. Eric Davis, Kyle Malone, Dalton McClem. I'm high on a lot of guys right now.
Damn, bro. You know, me and my young buddy, that the 5 months playing, we had Matt Sorrells and Noah Wooten down 11-2 at the Open.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You had him down. You let him creep back in.
And then my buddy Jared hit a good big airmail, and I scream out, "That's why I brought you here." And I think they got mad. And they left us in the rearview mirror.
That's what they'll do. They do that to a lot of people. So you shouldn't feel too bad. But
did you watch the game between me and Noah?
No. There was another game. You were on there for 2 matches, right?
No, I was only on there against Adam.
Yeah.
Okay, then I saw that one.
Yeah, with Hennessy. What's his name? Mr.
Mike?
Hennessy? Yeah.
Mike, yep.
He live streamed it.
No, I didn't get a chance to see that one.
Yeah, he was in no man's land and pulled one out. Man, a laser airmail to save the game.
That's what Noah does.
Yeah, he definitely does. I couldn't be mad either. I mean, I played my game. I played my game. You know, when I'm on, I'm aggressive as all get out. So.
Oh yeah, it's not a. I know when you're feeling good is because you're not wasting. There's no hesitation throwing that airmail. None.
Zero.
Like you're going to throw it before your opponent even throws the second to last bag.
When the bag before my opponent throws land, my decision's made.
Done.
And that's a good thing about Lesson being there this time is because he wants that. That's what he wants.
Yeah. That's good.
Pitcher, I have to ask, did you just want to come on because you didn't want to have Trey be on one more time than you?
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. I'm not that full of myself, Doug. Come on, bro.
He's trying to beat me on appearances, Doug.
Nah, not at all, Trey. Nah, you're the man. You're the man.
I think that's what he's trying to do.
Not at all, bro. Not at all.
We'll call it an even tie.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to tag. You're gonna have to tag me in that because I never saw it.
All right, I'll have to find it.
Right. Cool.
Okay. So
I was feeling a little left out.
I can never leave you out, Timmy. Never.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
All right, y'all take it easy.
Thanks, Timmy.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to have that. He didn't want to have you beating that one more than him.
No, I love it. Timmy's a great person, a great player, and he's been a great pro for us for a while now. So I thoroughly enjoy any time chatting with Timmy.
Oh, and that's like I said, and I say it every time I have him on that he's my guy, no matter what. Because my first time down in Cherokee, he actually came up to me out on that famous balcony outside the ballroom there, and we just started talking cornhole. And he's been like a best friend since, and it's just I love being able to talk with him. But
yeah, he's definitely one of a kind too. I mean, he's awesome.
Exactly. So to end things up here, I'm not sure if you have any info of what's coming up with the international stuff with the ACL Canada. I think we're about that close to actually putting some stuff out. But I don't know. Do you have any info or anything on that?
Well, I will tease the idea that, one thing that we're really excited about is we have our group of ACL pros, but one thing that we want to be able to do going forward is create an opportunity for players at the highest level on an international scale once travel opens back up to compete against some of our ACL pros. And so that's something that we're really excited for moving forward. And Todd Kasicki has been working really hard on starting to establish that opportunity so that, whether it's by an invitation or by a certain division or what have you, exploring that option right now, but really, whether it's someone that lives in Germany or Canada or Australia, if top players emerge and they want to play against the best in the world, then we want to be able to offer that to them, even if they can't be playing in the United States year round, like some of our, like all of our ACL pros here can. So I'm working on a program to be able to establish that. And I think that's going to be the next step for growth, because once we identify those leaders within a country, and then it becomes so much like a country rooting for their player to go and travel, and compete in these alongside of our ACL pros. And it brings a lot of country pride and something that I think is going to help as we expand internationally and get into a lot of these other countries. Yeah, and the only thing I'll ask is, I know I've heard the number throwing 90 deck rounds around to get in. I'm going to say, with the exchange rate, can you put that down to 80s? Because I've started to throw in the 80s, so just to give me a bit of a chance. I'll just make it so that it's 90, but if you have your own podcast, we'll drop it down to 80. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So I want to thank you for coming on here again, talking cornhole. I always love being able to pick your brain and just kind of talk stuff and get stuff out there, and just, I'm really hoping I can hear your voice on the broadcast this weekend. Yeah, absolutely. You better tune in. I'm looking forward to it. But as always, it's been a pleasure, Doug. I love coming on the show. I love being a regular here. So thanks for having me again. Exactly. Yeah. So thanks. So, everyone, check out the show. This is now Wednesday. Check out the show on Friday. I've got another great show there. And as always, watch out for those guys throwing gas, because you could be on TV on ESPN listening to this guy talk about you kicking someone's ass.